Make a pond with the smallest budget possible. This came about because I wanted another pond, different types of Medaka to go outside. So I'd already gone and bought a 230-litre plastic horse trough. The problem with that is that Mrs. Shrimp wasn't aware. When she saw it, she didn't like the sight of it. So, already trying to make it as cheap as possible, I then had to make this thing look a bit more presentable, and I didn't really want to spend any more of the fish budget on that. So this is how we went about it. Having a free supply of wood came in very handy, so I grabbed some bits that were being thrown out from my day job and made a frame. I put the frame on top of a Euro pallet because the sizes were convenient. It also made leveling the pond in the garden much, much easier. Then I kept bringing secondhand wood home from work until I found enough that would do the job. The design was pretty loose in my head, but I really achieved what I went for. I came across somebody who was throwing out a lot of decking and decided that would be good enough to clad it. I went with gaps for two reasons. First of all, to allow airflow through and cool the black container, as I didn't want the fish to overheat. But also, it made the width of the decking boards fit perfectly across the size of the Euro pallet. I'm not a racing driver, but here come the excuses. If you look too closely, you'll notice that there is not one 90-degree angle and one straight cut. I don't have a workshop. I don't even have a workbench. And I did the whole thing just using a handsaw. So, no, it's not pretty. But I also have a very attention-hungry 4-year-old girl who constantly wants me to be Anna. So time was of the essence. Even though the gaps in the cladding allowed for air movement, in the sun, it was getting to 28 to 30 degrees Celsius. It was clear we needed some sort of water movement, and a filter would be a good idea. So I picked up this awful quality planter from Amazon, drilled a hole in the bottom, a hole in the side, filled it with gravel, and hooked it all up to a little 10-watt pump. We bunged some cheap Temu lights around the edge. They're solar, they don't look pretty in the daytime, but at night they give this wicked little glowing effect. We went for warm white and filled the top of the planter with some plants from our local centre, Aqua Jardinerie. The overall effect is a nice trickling sound, a bit of cooling for the fish, and a nice glow in the evening. I built the whole thing next to my jungle in the garden, and this made Mrs. Shrimp much happier. But what are the total? Did we manage to make it cheap enough? So a fully functional filtered breeding pond for under $160 bucks? Yeah, I'm happy with that. And yeah, spend 10% more money or 10% more time and effort and it will look 100 times better.